So first, take me back to 2 Thursdays ago. So when you posted the status, right? But it was right after the police shootings. So what were you kind of thinking and what were you feeling at the time?
So in my head, my status was in response to the Dallas shootings, and to be honest, I wasn't really thinking too much of it. I wasn't acting as vice president. To me, this was just a post as a normal person, and I wasn't thinking too much into it. To me, I didn't understand Black Lives Matter and All Lives Matter. I thought that they were just a hashtag. I didn't know that there was a whole movement behind it, or that All Lives Matter was created in direct opposition to Black Lives Matter. So I was unaware of what I was truly saying. Yeah.
Okay. How had you not heard of Black Lives Matter? I don't know. I guess I find that. I mean, I'm not attacking you. I'm just like, wow, that's kind of crazy because I think everyone has heard of it. So what were you? I guess my question is what was your conception prior to that of Black Lives Matter?
I heard of Black Lives Matter, but to me it was just a hashtag and nothing more than that. I saw it everywhere, but I lacked understanding, so didn't look more into it. I didn't know that there was more to look into it. So that's where I just didn't know.
Okay. And then, so what's your understanding now of the Black Lives Matter movement and also the All Lives Matter? I wouldn't call it a movement, but of the All Lives Matter something.
My understanding is that I understand why Black Lives Matter, the hashtag and the movement was created, that it was there to bring awareness to that community, that yes, everyone is equal, but there are some minority groups in our community that don't have the same equity as everyone else does, and so we need to focus on them and bring to light the injustice that they face, because without understanding and unawareness, we can't fix the problem. So I understand why it was created. I've looked into the whole movement. I've talked to people on campus, went to the website, looked at the Houston chapter, and I understand that the violence that has been going on, that's not what they're trying to push for. It's supposed to be a very peaceful movement. Yeah.
Right. Okay, well this seems like maybe not like a 180, but kind of a turn from what you were saying before. Mm-hmm. So I guess, because you published this response or this clarification of what you said, and I guess how are you feeling about that now?
I think that was still a step forward, but it wasn't completely where I am right now. I think, understanding doesn't happen overnight. It's like a step-by-step process. And I think I've gained a lot more knowledge, where I was 2 weeks ago, but I don't think I've finished learning everything about this movement, and I don't think I ever will. But this makes me question how many of the people that support me also lack that same understanding. They support me because they're also unaware that they're also ignorant about this movement, and it just makes me wonder, if I've learned so much in 2 weeks, how can I help other people understand as well? Because that's the only way we'll actually be able to help and fix the problems on campus.
Right. One of the justices resigned over this controversy, or claimed that this was the reason that he resigned, and kind of viewed it as more of online bullying than any kind of movement. I guess it seems like you've kind of changed your opinion about that, but do you still think that the hashtag that was being used against you, do you see that as I'm not saying you ever did, but did you at any time or now, do you see that as bullying, or do you think it was just a bunch of concerned students? What's your opinion about these people who were kind of really angry using this hashtag?
Right. I think there was a whole spectrum of students that were using these hashtags, people that really did have a malicious intent, to people that really cared for the university and wanted a leader that represented him, and everyone in between. As far as bullying goes, it was a little hurtful to read some of the comments, just because those people don't know who I am. They don't know the morals I have, what I stand for. So it was a little hurtful reading very insensitive things about people that don't know me as a person. and it makes me wonder, like, want to research more into online bullying, because if I can, in just a week or two be so impacted by other people's words, I can only imagine how other people that faced online bullying for years, how they feel.
And where did again, you kind of changed your mind on this, so or at least gain some understanding. I don't want to say change your mind as in you don't believe anything about anything you said, but where did this come from? Who were you speaking to, and what kind of brought about this change?
This understanding?
Yeah.
So I started off the discussion, this understanding, by going to the Center for Diversity Inclusion forum that the Black Caucus also helped organize, which was basically an open forum about Black lives versus police officers. And it was the next day after I posted my status, so it was that Friday. And I was actually there for an hour and a half and went back later for another hour later in the day. So that was my first, other than the comments that people had posted, that was my first immersion, I guess, into a differing opinion or into more understanding. After that, I talked to some of my friends, some fellow Black student leaders on campus. I talked to people in my cabinet. I talked to Naya and Michael. I talked to Keith, faculty and staff. I just read up on it. I researched through the Black Lives Matter website. Just more articles, the news. Just trying to form my own opinion, but still get a wholesome understanding first. Yeah.
Okay, and then so one of the things that I spoke to the Black Caucus about was they were basically saying kind of you've messed up and you maybe can't fix it. Do you believe that that's true, that you can no longer represent these students, or? I
think I can actually represent my student body even better than I could before because of the understanding that I've gained. Now when they say privilege, I finally know what privilege means, that I don't have to be scared when I drive home. That's just an example that what they were saying to me before I didn't understand. So after gaining all this knowledge, I'm more so in the position to advocate for them. And I'm still learning, and I think that's what's one of the best qualities that I have, is that I am open-minded and I'm willing to admit when I've made a mistake and gain more knowledge about something. And I'm also willing to ask for help. So I need their help to know, what are the problems that they're facing on campus. So I can, take the steps accordingly, or let them know where to go or who to ask help from. So I think this experience has been beneficial in that sense.
Cool. And how do you and or SGA plan to continue discussions about this?
We've started meeting with some of the Black organizations on campus. We are having our town hall next week, which will, hopefully foster more discussion. And then I think we're setting up more and more meetings. We've only just started scratching the surface, so we still have a lot of work to be done. There's been a couple problems that have been brought to my attention that this community faces on campus, so I've started to research more into it, but I know that there's a lot more than just less than 5 problems. And so I think we're still formulating a plan, and then once we get that done, we'll have concrete steps to take.
I see. Okay. I don't think. Is there anything else you want to say about this, how it's impacted you, or how it's impacted SGA, or how it may impact the student body?
Sure. I just want to apologize, first of all, for people that do know me, for the disappointment that I caused, for the people that don't know me, for representing myself poorly, and in turn representing the organization poorly, and along with that, just representing our university poorly. So I'd like to apologize. What else do I want to say to them? I also want to say, ask the people that, think that they can't trust me anymore to give me a chance, that I will prove myself to them, that I will take, a appropriate actions to make sure that they're heard and advocated for. I've had a couple people, a couple students book an appointment through our You Can Book Me site, and I met 2 today, and it sparked great discussion. Not only did they help me understand more and give me more feedback about my post and what's going on in this community, but in turn, like, I could help them get more involved with our community. So it was like a nice discussion where we both helped each other out, and I think I can make more changes and be a better student leader if people will come approach me and talk to me.
Cool. Okay. Well, that's all the questions I have, really. I mean, you kind of